And coming here to the main stage, we will be talking about Mixwell, applying TWI in a pharmaceutical laboratory. Okay, so now I leave you guys here to continue. So thank you.
Okay, thank you, Chris. So welcome, hello everyone. Welcome to the presentation of Viatris Hungary, the Hungarian site of a global pharmaceutical company. The presentation will be held by Zoltán Auer and Oliver Szabó. I'm Csaba Szalai from LAI Hungary. We started to work with this company 5 years ago, and the story that you will hear is about how these guys reduce the number of quality defects in their manual laboratory processes by using the TWI JI job instruction method. So I hand over the word to them. Enjoy. Last remark from my side that you can ask questions only by using the chat function of Zoom, and we will answer in the last 5 minutes these questions. So enjoy. Zoltán,
thank you.
it's your turn.
Thank you, Csaba. Hello all. I am Zoltán Auer, the Operational Excellence Lead at the Viatris facility in Hungary. I have nearly 15 years lean experience in the pharma industry. It's a great honor and pleasure for us to present our own lean developments and best practices in this conference. So thank you very much. I hope you will get some positive experiences and valuable insights. The purpose of this section, as Csaba mentioned, is to demonstrate how we progressed from a common value stream mapping to reducing the number of errors through standard training in basic processes. I will start with a brief Viatris introduction. Then my colleague Oliver will share the original objectives and logbook review improvement. Then I will continue with the sample registration development and TWI methodology. And in the end, Oliver will share practical experiences related to the methodology and the outcomes. These data points provide some fast facts about Viatris. Looking at the slide from left to right, you will see Viatris was formed in 2020 from the combination of two strong legacy companies called Mylan and Upjohn, and currently has more than 38,000 colleagues around the world. We are located across almost 70 countries and are headquartered in the US. We have more than 1,400 approved molecules across a diverse portfolio of generics, brands, and complex generics. We have approximately 40 manufacturing sites worldwide that produce complex dosage forms, injectables, oral solid doses, and active pharmaceutical ingredients. Our commercial reach extends to more than 165 countries and territories. Like many other industries, the generic products market also faces intense price competition with well-known players such as Teva and Sandoz. In terms of annual revenue, Viatris is in the top 3 with approximately $18 billion. Across Europe, we are not only have a strong commercial presence, but also strong operations, manufacturing, packaging, and research and development. We also feel the price competition mentioned previously here in Komárom, where we pack, test, and release tablets and capsules for the European market mainly. As you can see on the map, Viatris has multiple facilities in Europe, and we compete with them for products. Therefore, our local strategy emphasizes the continuous simplification of our processes to increase our competitiveness. The factory was established in 2010 in Komárom, approximately 100 kilometers far from our capital, and its progress has been continuous ever since. We have 18 high-speed packaging lines and a state-of-art laboratory, which will be introduced by my colleague, Oliver.
Hello, my name is Oliver Szabó, and I'm responsible for a quality control unit in Komárom, Hungary. I have around 20 years experience in the pharmaceutical industry, and all of this experience coming from the laboratory. Quality control is a very essential part of the pharmaceutical manufacturing processes. since it is related and needed for the marketization and the stability of all of the products. We started to operate, quality control laboratory in Komárom 2011, first with the locally packed product. Later, from 2013, we started to test products which are packed in different and other sites. So we became such type of European center of laboratory within our network. And during this time period, as you can see on the slide, from 2013 to 2023, more than 5 times increased the number of tests we performed. And therefore, we had to increase the number of our employees. We had to purchase a lot of equipment, and our portfolio became more and more complex because we had more and more products. So our key point was to be competitive within the industry and within our network. Therefore, as you can see on the slide, what was the objective of my improvement were related to first increase the throughput, the capacity, to create value, and also shorten the lead times. You will see some slides about our lean journey presented by Zoltán.
Thank you, Olivier. So a bit about when and how we started to engage with lean. I mentioned that the simplification of our processes has always been part of our annual strategy, and each year several development projects were initiated to reduce the lead time, increase capacity, or improve the quality. In 2015, we completed our first comprehensive value stream map for the packaging process. We launched several beneficial projects as a result, leading to a nearly 30% reduction in our total lead time. Encouraged by this success, we repeated the mapping in 2019 with the support of Lean Enterprise Institute Hungary. Thank you, Csaba. This time focusing on the laboratory processes with the full support of Olivier and the site management, involving a real cross-functional team. We identified 3 main areas for development: the review process, the sample registration, and how to reduce the number of faulty tests formerly referred to as the count of labor investigation reports. So we will dive deeper into the specifics on the following slides.
So on these slides, you can see some lead time reduction project. There are 2 photos in this slide. And what you can see on these photos, on the left side, you can see the past status, and on the right side, you can see the current status. The value is in the quality control laboratory is the issued result. And the issued result is a documented data which are reviewed in several steps. So what was in the past? We had and we have around 2,500 logbooks in the same time in the laboratory, and they were stored in such type of folders. What you can see, these folders are product related, and also they are stored in this cabinet which has untransparent doors. And what we couldn't identify in this stage, we couldn't know which logbook should be reviewed, and also what is the age of this data what are in this logbook and they are not reviewed. And what we invented, you can see on the right side that again we have folders, but these are based on the review processes. And on the review processes, you can see this in such type of cabinet which is without any door. Therefore, this is fully transparent, and you can see some dots on the backbone of these logbooks. And the backbone of the logbooks get a 1 point or dot at the end of the day. Therefore, you can see easily the aging. So in this system, you can easily say which is the review phase and how old is the data which should be reviewed. Earlier, we had around 4-6 days as an average lead time. Now this is 1 to 2. And because of the entrance manner that we used in the past, we had time to time some review times above 20 days. And we had also another lead time reduction project that will be presented by Zoltan.
Thank you, Oliver. So on this slide, I would like to present the development of the sample reception and test allocation process. These are sequential steps in the value stream process. Despite belonging to the same group, significant weighting losses occurred and stocks accumulated between the process steps, which was a big waste. Processes were carried out in different offices, and communication was done through emails and various Excel sheets, causing a disruption in information flow. The process lead time ranged from 4 to 6 days. The direction of the improvement was very clear. We needed to enhance the material and information flow between the groups. Therefore, we located them in one office, obviously, and arranged workstations according to the process sequence. Instead of relying on Excel sheets and emails, the physical processed samples served as a visual Kanban. I don't know whether you can see on the camera. So we have these samples to help to serve the process. These samples needed to be registered, labeled, and assigned to the appropriate test. As soon as the first workstation completed its task, it physically passed the samples to the next person, and it was now their turn to do his or her job. That was the calling to perform. Once this colleague finished, she or he passed the samples to the next person to verify the accuracy of the test allocation. By having the physical sample as a Kanban signal for each colleague, right in front of them on their desk, allowing them to perform their part, we were able to reduce the previous 4 to 6 day lead time to around 1 day, eliminating the need for emails and Excel sheets. Regarding to the third topic, we aim to understand the high number of laboratory investigation reports formulated for capacity increase goals. So we conducted a deep dive analysis regarding to faulty tests, revealing that almost 30% of the tested batches were involved in investigation, and nearly 50% of the preventable lab investigation reports could be caused by human error, and mainly the newcomers. So it is very important to know that these investigations really hurts. They consume significant amount of resources. The error needs to be examined, test needs to be repeated, root causes must be identified, and corrective actions need to be deployed. A large portion of root causes, such as, for example, preparation errors, cannot be automated, so it needs to be understood. Our basic processes are fully manual in the lab. So the team has set the goal of improving the training process. And this is how we became familiar with the TWI methodology. The origin of the methodology can be traced back to the industrial sector in the United States. It was developed in the 1940s and was initially applied in the American defense industry during the Second World War. With the US government needing to produce a substantial quantity of military products and equipment during the war, the emphasis on increasing the efficiency of industrial production became crucial. This was particularly significant as a large portion of male workforce in the industry was enlisted in the military. Approximately 60 million served in the US military during the war. Consequently, millions of individuals lacking prior experience in such work needed to be recruited, which was a huge task, with nearly half of this new workforce were women. So the goal was to train them really quickly and really effectively. The TWI program consists of 3 parts. First one is the job relation, which provides practical experience for leaders on how to improve team performance and collaboration. The second one is the job methods, which assist workplace leaders in simplifying and improving the execution of the task. And the well-known is the job instruction, which is widely used nowadays, which provide leaders with practical experience in teaching someone new work processes. The method guides the employee through task mastery in a simple and really structured manner. But before we examine the job instruction method more closely, let's review really quickly the 4 typical training methods widely used nowadays. First is a simple verbal explanation, which is the least effective. The next one is the demonstration which shows the method of execution. Then there is illustration, which presenting with written materials, SOPs, work instruction, printed with images. And finally, we have this discussion and question and answers opportunity. When we use this separately, each of these methods has its own weaknesses and shortcomings. However, the combined use of the 4 teaching methods represent an exceptionally effective approach for knowledge transfer. And this is what TWI is doing. So how the job instruction method looks like? The process has 4 steps. First, you have to prepare the learner. So a job skills trainer prepares the trainee for the training. The trainer states the job and finds out how much related knowledge and skill the person has. The trainer then motivates the trainee to learn the job and places the trainee in the position where she or he can see and hear the instruction clearly. Then the second one is to present the operation. The trainer presents the job step by step, following a carefully prepared job instruction breakdown sheets detailing the performance critical aspects of the job, as well as knacks, tricks, and hints shared by the most experienced workers. Each of the instructed key points is reinforced with a clear explanation why is this vital for the job success in terms of quality, safety, and efficiency. The next one is the try out of the performance, how it works. So the trainee does the job repeatedly under the supervision of the trainer, who carefully spots and corrects any mistakes immediately. The expectation is for the learner to execute the breakdown exactly as it was demonstrated by the trainer in the previous step, and to explain what she or he does, the key points, that is the precise technique of doing each important step correctly, and why this technique matters. And the last one is the follow-up. So once the trainee has completed the supervised practice and the teachback of the correct method of doing the job in the previous step, she or he progressively begins to work independently. The last step is focused on practicing the job and building the, I would say, muscle memory to execute the job correctly and the required pace. The trainer follows up with the trainee to see how she or he is doing and confirm that both the method and the outcome meet expectation, and to answer questions. And finally, the TWI trainer formalizes the employee's, let's say, a certification to do the job independently and closes the period of follow-up and coaching. On this slide, you can see how a job instruction breakdown sheets look like, and it will be explained by Oliver in detail.
Yeah, what you can see here, this is TWI working section for pipetting. This is just the first part of the pipetting, obviously. You can see 4 columns. On the first column, you can see just a very short description of the activity. On the second column, you can see a detailed description what the trainee should do. And on the third, some explanations. So what can be the consequences if it is not followed? And on the last, on the fourth column, you can see a photo, or you can see graphics which can help to visualize the steps what you can see on the columns before. And it is just highlighted one part, and this is about mix well. So mix well is a very well used phrase in the pharmaceutical industry, not in our company. It is widely used in the industry. And it means that you should homogenize. But how to homogenize? So what is homogenization? Just an example. So you can see here a volumetric flask, and It is not homogenized because you can see some liquid which is almost black, and above there is a transparent solution. And you can start with some shaking. At the end, you will recognize that you did some type of mixing, so you have some type of homogenization. But we are not in NCIS, so our solution looks like this. So they are fully transparent, so we cannot visually identify that they are really mixed well or not. So in time to time, it can happen that you cannot find anything in the literature, and you couldn't learn this in the university. Therefore, you need to do some exercises to find out what will be your standard test procedure at the end. So I mean the procedure for your preparation steps. And what is also very important, that you have to be own TWI trainers. Obviously, we had at the end 0 who knew these techniques, but 4 years later, we have now 14. Now the whole population in the lab is around 70 people. So this ratio 1 to 5 is, I think, quite feasible and also reasonable. Also, in terms of job instructions, we thought that we can do around 10, 15 instructions based on TWI based, but at the end, we recognize that such more can be written in such a way and can prevent investigation. So currently we have 40, so 40. And at the end, what was the result? Because the main goal was to decrease the number of human-related investigations. And it was decreased with 2/3, so it was significantly decreased with more than 60%, but it was not decreased to 0. I'm quite sure that it cannot be decreased to 0. However, we can achieve better results what we have currently. So we also identified some points in our program that need to improve. So it is not just a one-time exercise. You need to develop further your system because anytime you have some room for improvements. And Zoltán will say some words about the next steps.
Yes, thank you, Olivier. So what was our learning? So we learned that the type of teaching that involves standing next to a senior and paying close attention is very, very limited. If the senior does not point out the key points, the reasons, and the connections during the process, it leads to a very shallow learning and does not yield the desired results. So, and finally, about what are short-term plans? We would like to further improve the newcomers training process. So this year we systematically examined the various onboarding routes for the new colleagues and created a detailed training schedule for the newly onboarded colleagues from the first day of the entry until the end of the probationer period. So this will help the trainee to see the training schedule on his own or her own schedule and progress levels. And it will be also assist the supervisor who will know where the subordinate stands in their development and what task can be assigned. So thank you very much for your attention, and we are happy to answer your questions, if there are any.
Yes, I can't see any questions so far in the Q&A panel. Let's wait some moments. Maybe there will be some questions arriving soon.
I really appreciate you guys, your emojis.
Yeah. So you can use the Q&A panel, the Q&A button and function for defining some questions, or asking some questions from us.
If you have questions in the near future, I guess you can contact us through our email address.
This is one question. Will you stick with TWI or experiment with other methodologies for training?
I would answer that we stick with that TWI because it proved. So it's a proven methodology. It helped a lot for us. It delivered the desired result. So I think it's perfect for us.
Yeah. Also, we had just a short survey in other sites and in other companies to check what their training program is, and mostly not so comprehensive, this TWI in our industry. So yeah, as Zoltan just mentioned, we didn't check any other options.
And the next question is, what was the biggest difficulty in implementing? Oliver.
It was several difficulties, especially from the very experienced colleagues who believe that they can perfectly do everything. So they said, I don't need this. This is just a stupidity. Why I need to learn? And we try to solve this problem that if you don't have any human-related investigation, we won't teach this technique because you are perfect. But if you have, in this case, you will get such type of training because something went wrong, and we believe that you can learn about this technique. So it was the first point, which was not so easy. But the newcomers really love this because a lot of them are newcomers from the university. They don't have so many experiences, so they are more than happy that they can get so detailed training. So from the newcomers, we really get positive feedbacks. But for more experienced, at the beginning, we got more complaint.
Okay, thank you, Oliver. Zoli, what do you think?
Yeah, the same. We have problem with the old furnitures, and we need to convince them with the results. So it was not so easy, as you know, probably.
Okay. Next question. What is the role, or how is the role of the supervisor? Does he or she have a verification role? How do they do that? So what's their role in teaching, in instructing people?
Also at the beginning, one of the trainer was a supervisor, so their involvement was very high. Mostly they are responsible to dedicate the trainers, the TWI trainers, to the newcomers, and to be sure that they get on the right time the trainings, because some steps need to be one by one. And the order is very important. So their role mostly this, and the trainer and the mentor should follow the progress. Obviously, if we see difficulties, so the colleague cannot learn, in this case, the supervisor will be involved and try to solve the problem. But it is very rare, luckily. So this TWI training was quite good till now.
Thank you. Okay, so far, yeah, one more question. Great presentation. Thank you so much. Okay.
Thank you very much, guys.
I have a concern. Are TWI training methodologies templates compatible with the common standard work templates? Thanks again. So, but this is actually not a question. This is a concern. But what about
Also in our system, first we had just some documentation, TWI documentation, and that was part on our quality system. But later we recognized that we can adapt, and we have in our quality system, yeah. I think this is the end.
I guess, yes, we are out.
Hello, guys.
Hello.
Hello, Chaba. Yes, we are approaching the end of this session. Again, thank you very much for participating here at the Link Global Connection and answering these questions. And again, as I did with the others, I invite you to come to the lobby, to share, to exchange ideas with people who are there also. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for the
Thank you
opportunity.
very much, Chris.
Bye-bye.
Bye.